What does your inner monologue sound like? Do you have grace with yourself, or are you constantly putting yourself down? Welcome everyone to Collective Consciousness, where we focus on expanding your consciousness. The whole purpose of this channel are for individuals who are on their road to self-mastery. So if that's an individual like yourself, take one moment right now and just smash that subscribe button down below and also give us a thumbs up. Today we are talking about the ultimate success formula and overcoming the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Let's get started. So what is your inner monologue saying to yourself? Are you like super hard on yourself a lot of times? I remember I used to be. For example, when I was in high school, one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Wall, rest his soul, in that age, in that space, I was coming from a lack of self-worth. So I used to just do a lot of stupid stuff and allow people to make fun of me because I thought that was the best way of getting attention and people would like me. And from that, my teacher, Mr. Wall, created a song and he would play it on the piano. It'd go dun dun dun, Tiny's an idiot, Tiny's an idiot, Tiny's an idiot, and everyone knows it's true. And I used to like dance around and like goof around to that song. And it's just like, what? And you know, that's just like looking back, coming from an older energy to where we used to have negative self-talk. Like, oh, I'm such a fucking idiot, or oh, I'm so stupid, or oh, like, why can't I do better, right? Just having that inner self-talk really makes a difference in the outcome of your current life. When you act stupid, you see, that's the limitation that people put on you, right? And then you begin to manifest that in your reality. That's the limitation you put on yourself. And you know what? I realized that I had put so much pain, so much trauma, so much association with that identity of Tiny and who Tiny was. It's so crazy when it comes to identity because we often look at identity as something that we know certain to be about ourselves. But really, identity are the attachments you place on yourself. Why is it that Tiny has lived such a beautiful, amazing, abundant life with all these opportunities? Yet, the only things that Tiny focused on was the lack, what she didn't have when she was growing up. How her dad wasn't there for her when she needed him. How certain people in her family like turned their back on her. She felt like she wasn't approved of, accepted, appreciated. And that created a girl who strived for everyone's attention instead of striving for her own acceptance, her own approval, and her own appreciation. She looked for it outwardly on other people. Tiny would do anything for someone that she was in a relationship with. Tiny fell in love super easy because her level of self-worth was really, really low. I started learning about etymology. I started learning about the power of words and how words are spells and how certain things that words actually mean. And my whole life, I've been called Tiny. And it's been like funny, right? Like that stupid thing in high school. Like it's an oxymoron. Like I'm not actually Tiny, but you know, that's been my name. And I was just sitting there contemplating like, am I limiting myself? I sit here and I tell people all the time how words are powerful, how you can use words to create the things that you want in your life, and how words are spells. Yet, my name's Tiny. I associate, I identify as Tiny. Am I playing small? Am I limiting myself just by using that word? What are my associations with that name? And I went through my associations and it was a lot of pain and trauma. So I realized it didn't resonate with me. And I had to think and really like do some inner work, meditate on it, And in the dream state came to me this name, Raella. I was like, what is that? Who is that? I heard it again, Raella. Like, who is that? So I got up and, you know, if you know anything about the rising routine that I have, I do my meditations first thing in the rising, and I meditated on it. And I heard it again, Raella. And so I saw the spelling of the name. See, I'm a very kinesthetic learner. I can't just hear, I can't just see it. I need them immersed, right? I need them put together. And so I saw it written very beautifully, R-A-E-L-L-A. Ra, the sun god. Ella, she or her in Spanish. The sun goddess. Wow, how powerful that is, right? And ray for short, because I am a ray of sunshine. And so I went through this transformative experience, and I'm going to teach you guys right now. It is neuroassociative programming. That's what we're going to talk about today, and how to take your old identity, your old self, and put that to the side and step in to who you deserve to be, to who you want to become, right? The thing is, we've been taught for our entire lives all these things about the way the world works. And the truth is, all of those things that we were taught are limitations to who we can become. So what I'm going to teach you today, I'm going to teach you 2 things that you'll be able to take away with you to create a lasting change in your life. But before we do that, we first have to talk about what often drives people away from their goals and desires. The answer is fear. And a lot of people fear failure. So let's break down that word failure. What does the word failure mean? Failure isn't trying something and not succeeding. There's a step after that that creates failure. And it is staying there, giving up. Once you give up, that is where failure comes in. You know, Einstein tried 10,000 times before he actually got to the light bulb, right? And for those of you who know, it was really Nikola Tesla, but that's a different story for another time. It's for the example, 10,000 ways. And so what we do, what we're trained to do, is look at those 10,000 times that we didn't get it and focus on that. And where focus goes, energy flows. Write that down. Where focus goes, energy flows. And we focus our identity on all of the negative shit that we've done in life, all of the things that keep us from being what perfect is in our minds. And that is the identity we attach to. But Einstein didn't look at those 10,000 failures. He looked at the one success, because that one success changed the trajectory of the world. Even now, I'm currently using a ring light. You get what I'm saying? Don't focus on how many times you fell down. Focus on how many times you got up. And so fear of failure is not really the fear. You see, people have 2 main fears. And it boils down to this. Either the fear of not being enough, or the fear of not being loved. And really everything that we do is either to avoid pain or to pursue pleasure. And if your fear is that you're not enough or that you won't be loved, yes or no, does that prevent you from really chasing after and taking risks to go after the things that you want? It is. Is that hindering you? It is. So what do? How do we overcome fear? First thing I want to talk about is the ultimate success formula. And then we're going to get a little into the neuroassociative conditioning. What is the ultimate success formula? It is 5 steps to get you to create lasting success in your life. Okay? Step 1, Know your outcome. It's like trying to go somewhere, but not knowing where you want to go, right? You hop in the car, you pull out your GPS. What do you put in? You have to know where you're going. Otherwise, the GPS doesn't know where to take you. And that's how we attract chaos and randomness in life, because we're putting out this convoluted signal to the universe, right? So utilize that as intention. So where do I want to go? And I want you guys to write this down, right? Number one, where do I want to go? What is my outcome? Number two, why do I want to go there? Why do I want that island? Why do I want a successful business? Why do I want to be able to help others along this planet? Whatever it is, whatever your outcome is, ask yourself why you want it. And go deep. Go really deep. Not something like, oh, because if you can answer it in one sentence, then that's not deep enough. Why? What is the emotional trigger, that drive for you? Number three, take massive action to get it. You can want something all you want, but wanting creates lack. It's coming from a space and a mentality of lack. Oh, I want this, meaning you don't have it. Everything that you want is already existing for you in the field, in the quantum field of things. So you can say, I'm manifesting, I'm creating, I'm pulling into the now, right? Utilizing this language to really create your reality. This is where we get multidimensional here, but you have to create the action. You have to build that momentum. You can make a snowball, but until you start rolling it downhill, it's not gonna catch. Do you feel what I'm saying? You have to take action. When you take action, it creates a wave of potentials towards what it is that you said that outcome was, right? So this is how we get into the art of manifestation. There's a science and there's an art to it. Take action. Number four, know what you're getting. You have to know what you're getting out of it, right? It also goes back to your why and to the outcome. Know what the benefit is for you. Know what you want to feel from that situation. Know what you're getting from it. And lastly, if you try something and it didn't work, try something else. Change your approach, right? A lot of people just stop right there, like, well, I didn't get it. I tried. I didn't get it. How's that working for you? Try something else. If that didn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, what do? Try something else. And what if that doesn't work? Try something else. You keep changing your approach until you find what does work. That is quantum. That is multidimensionality. Often we get a stop sign and we think it's a red light. The universe didn't say stop. It just said, come to a complete stop. Now you may go. There's something called divine alignment. And without knowing what comes next, we just, oh, well, it didn't work out. And we get frustrated. And that frustration creates a wave of potentials. You see what I mean? So when you use your consciousness with intention and you have that laser focus onto something and you've attached it emotionally to your why, your heart space, why is that important to you? You know your outcome, you know what you're getting, you're taking action towards it, and you keep changing your approach until you get there. And that is how you create success in life. Okay? So that is the teaching for today. I hope you guys took notes because there's a lot of gems in there. Okay, now I have a tool, an action step for you to take. Okay, now we're gonna get a little bit into that neuro-associative programming here. You see, we all have been programmed to believe one thing or to follow something or to act a certain way. We've all been programmed. The media is major programming. The reason I wanted to create collective consciousness is because there was too much negative content in the media, and I wanted to be the change that I want to see. So I created some positive content, something to offset and create balance in the media. We said fear was the reason why people were being held back in life, away from their goals and their desires. But what is adding fuel to that fear fire? It's your beliefs. So first we have to talk about, what is a belief? A belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. And so often what we attach our beliefs to, they're limiting our ability and our success. And if you want a little bit more about limiting beliefs, I have a video and the link will be down below. But that's not what this video is about. But limiting beliefs, I can't do it because there's not enough time. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. Okay, yes, these are all excuses. And Tony Robbins calls it BS, your belief system, your bullshit. And it's true. It's the shit you tell yourself. A belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. So what are 3 beliefs that you need to have in order to create the lasting change in your life? The first belief is that it must change now. You have to kind of get fed up with where you're at and feel like it has to change. That habit you have, whether if it's smoking or drinking or, I don't know, video games, I don't know, Instagram scrolling, whatever your addiction is or your vice is, right? You have to be fed up with it. Your habit, whatever your habit is, I wake up late, or I don't focus, or I feel like I don't have time. Whatever that belief is, you have to come to the conclusion that it has to change now. You also have to come to the conclusion that I must change it now, that you are the one that is in control. Once you come to the idea that it has to change, now you realize I'm the one who can change it, right? This is a belief that we have to have. I must change it now. Now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Make a decision. Take massive action now. And number 3, I can change it now. Because a lot of the times we feel like we have to change things, but oh, well, I can't do it because I don't have the time or the money or the resources. No, you're not resourceful. A lot of successful people didn't have the resources either, but they were resourceful. It's not about the resources, it's about the resourcefulness. There's an answer, there's a solution, find it. So once you have those 3 beliefs, you can begin to reprogram yourself, right? So I want you guys, this is your assignment, to go through this and to really assess what's going on in your life and how I can change it right now. Okay, the first thing that you have to do to create, there's 3 steps to lasting change. The first thing you have to do is get leverage. How much pain is it causing you to have that belief, habit, or behavior that is holding you back? Really draw it out. How much pain is it causing you today, in the next week, in the next 5 months? How much money is it costing you? How much is it holding you back? What could you be accomplishing in the next 6 months, in the next year, next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? It's 20 years later, you have not overcome this challenge. How do you feel? Create leverage. It has to change now, and I can change it. I must change it, right? Number 2, interrupt the pattern. You have to interrupt the pattern. Let's say, for example, you smoke cigarettes, right? And you feel the need to smoke cigarettes constantly when you get stressed out, when you're at work, right? And this is an example from Tony Robbins. He he tells a story about this, how when he first started, he would fix people's problems, and he had this appointment and he was waiting on the guy to come, and long story short, the guy like wasn't coming. So 20 minutes later, he's like, okay, well, let me go check down in the lobby. Maybe he got lost down in the lobby or something. He walks out and he gets hit with a wave of smoke, and this guy is like chain smoking cigarettes. And he's like, dude, are you such and such? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you're 20 minutes late. And he's like, listen, I just have to get my fix. And it's just like, it's that mentality, right? He knows that Tony Robbins was about to change his behavior, so he had to smoke more to get all of that out of his system, right? It's like before you go on a diet and you eat those Cheeto Puffs real quick. You feel what I'm saying? So interrupt the pattern. What Tony does is he takes him downstairs. He's like, all right, well, come with me. They go downstairs. There's like a little shop down there, and he ends up buying 3 cartons of cigarettes. And the guy's like looking at him like all big-eyed, like, what is that? And he's like, pay the man. And he's like, pay him, but pay the man. So he gets his credit card out and he pays for the 3 cartons of cigarettes. And he's like, what's going on? He grabs the bags, gives them to the guy, and he's like, follow me. And he's giving him very little in between. So now this is creating curiosity, creating a little fear in this man, right? And so they go upstairs, and he ends up going back into his office, and he sits down, and he sits and he looks at the guy. He's like, so you have a smoking problem, or you want to stop smoking? And he's like, yeah, you know, I really want to stop smoking, but it's something about it that gets me. So he's created this pattern for himself of, I need the cigarettes, right? His attachment to the cigarette, his desire for the cigarette. And so Tony realizes that he has to interrupt the pattern. He has to create a disconnect here. So he lights up 4 cigarettes and he hands them to the guy, and he says, smoke them. He's like, well, I can't, I don't want to smoke anymore. I can't do it. But he just told him about all the things that he loves about smoking, right? And so he's like, I said smoke them. And he's like yelling at him, right? And the guy gets scared. And then, I don't know if you guys know Tony Robbins, this guy's like 6'7", like this big dude. So the guy's like shaking in his seats, and he's like double fisting 2 cigarettes at a time, and he's smoking them. He does this again and again and again, until after a while, there's so much smoke in the office. They're both coughing and choking. They can't see each other. And after a while, the guy's like, no, you can't make me smoke. And then Tony goes, okay, my job is done. What did he do there? He's a little drastic, a little extra. But what did he do? Let's go back to the steps. He created leverage, right? And he interrupted the pattern, which leads to number 3. Create an empowering alternative. So after you interrupt the pattern, what is something that is going to serve you, that's going to be better for you? What is that outcome that we were talking about? All of this ties together, okay? So that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take this information and journal about it tonight. Journal about it. Ask yourself the 3 questions. And really create the leverage. Really tap into how you can interrupt your pattern or your behavior. And then attach some emotion to it. What's the powering alternative? Okay? That's all I have for you guys today. Listen, I need you to let me know. I know I've been gone for a while, but I make sure that I qualify myself to be able to stand in front of the room and share and add value to you guys. So I took 6 months off, and I spent like $18,000 on my education to really like develop and hone in on my craft and how I can best serve you. So let me know in the comments, what was your favorite part of this video, and what would you like to know more for the next week? Thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm happy to be back. Asè and Namaste. Say